Hello my friends, it's good to be here with you again, just sharing some of my thoughts and some teachings that would go along with the flow of the river. And part of this continuance of reaping what we sow is also embracing not only the light side, but shadow sides of ourselves and of others. And a lot of people ask, well, what is that exactly? Well, shadows represent things that we refuse or simply cannot see clearly about ourselves or about an issue or situation. And they can be very spooky because inevitably there's a sense of something lurking underneath the surface that will make us uncomfortable or push other buttons and other emotions that we don't always like to feel, but they're important to acknowledge. So for this, I would have to say, acknowledge that shadows are not evil or bad. And I'd like to give you some examples of that today. So an example of a shadow would be a part of you that's unclaimed. And this typically happens because of things that you hide about yourselves because of fear or scorn or things that happened to you as a child. Like, say for example, you had a favorite talent or hobby, and because you were not approved of, or had teasing or something happen, or things like this, that you decided to suppress that talent or hide that hobby or what have you, and inevitably it becomes a shadow side of you where it longs to come out because it is a good side of you that deserves to see the light of day. So in order to help to heal that particular shadow of your unclaimed self, reclaim it. It's okay to say, I like this, or I would like to investigate that hobby, and move through the resistance and the wounds of the past, and do it gently, do it step by step. Another aspect of shadow would be unresolved issues. And you can always recognize them because it's when somebody touches them or goes near them, they hit one of your buttons. You can find yourself very strong emotions, reactions where you jump, like someone hit a nerve. And inevitably, it creates a fight or flight response where when it goes to extremes, at its maximum extreme would be, say, someone who develops a PTSD, and at that point, again, seeking the help of professionals to help you to move through that. But unresolved issues will have a tendency to replay themselves over and over again. And these are shadow sides of yourself that say, hey, you deserve to live better than being wounded. So with that, seek to heal them and integrate that part of your shadow. The third one that I would like to talk to you about today as well is another aspect of shadow is what can be hidden underneath it are unpleasant truths. And that we see a lot in our society, like with the different injustices. And it can be very difficult because this is definitely another area where talking about controversial things, it's a variance of the unresolved issues. So what needs to happen here is really learning to speak to each other in a civil way with mutual respect about controversial issues that are difficult. And with that, also acknowledge that we all have an insight into the solution. No one of us has the answer. So if we are willing to create a space where these shadows, the unclaimed parts, can be reclaimed and integrated, unresolved issues that we have individually, seeking to actively heal them, and unpleasant truths that we have within our society, to be able to come together and talk about them in a good way. Again, dealing with shadows is never fun. It will be unpleasant. It will create a whole bunch of different emotions. Safely process those emotions. The beauty of shadows that I'd like to say to you is that they need to be respected and not feared. Inevitably, they point things that need to be reclaimed, reintegrated, healed within ourselves and a society. And if you're willing to do that, then you can go with confidence, or at least more confidence, into the world, knowing that if something of the shadows does come, whether it becomes controversial or what have you, that you are able to approach it with the same universal compassion and respect and the willingness to listen for yourself and for others, so that in truth, the shadows then can become integrated with the light and a beautiful balance of both. And so that, my friends, again, I would always say to you, thank you so much. Please drop me a comment. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And if you like and share, it helps to spread the positivity. So overall, from my heart to yours, Wanishi, thank you so, so much. And enjoy dancing in the shadows. There's a lot of good that can be found in them. Dane.